Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Tim is a retirement and income specialist, certified financial fiduciary, and founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com, primarily serving Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Virginia. But he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Wood is a licensed life insurance professional in multiple states and specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who are already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies. And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Tim Wood.
Thank you for joining me this week. I'm Tim Wood, host of Safe Money Retirement Radio. I specialize in asset and retirement protection and income planning. I spoke to one of my listeners the other day. We'll call him Joe. And he mentioned how his friend made a 22% return with his investments last year. Now, I usually don't give a statement like that much attention for many reasons. I don't even ask what they're invested in because claims like that are rarely accurate. The 22% return usually doesn't consider fees and taxes. Also, people love to talk about a 22% return on one investment they have with a portion of their money. If someone has $1 million and invests $50,000 into something they get a 22% return on, guess what they talk about at parties? That 22% return on 5% of their money might make for a good story over some cocktails, but mathematically, it's not very impressive. People rarely talk about the money they lost or the total return on all of their money. Now, I didn't dismiss this statement for some reason this time. I had what I would call a sudden epiphany and asked Joe if his friend spent all that money as soon as the year ended. He asked me, well, what do you mean? I asked Joe again, is the money gone? Did he spend it? Joe said, no, I don't think so. So I asked, is it still invested where he made the 22%? He said, I don't know, but I think so. Now, I asked a question that Joe will never forget. I said, Joe, then how do you know he made a 22% return? The phone went silent. I could hear the gears turning in his head, and then quietly and humbly Joe answered, well, I don't know. Before we get back to this encounter with Joe, one of my radio show listeners, let me ask you, what if you could know? What if you could know that any returns you have, you get to keep? If you're one of those people that don't want to see their entire life's efforts disappear overnight because of something that you have absolutely no control over, but still want generous accumulation opportunities, give me a call now at 844-905-SAFE. Once we talk, we'll discuss some suitability questions to ensure we have fixed indexed annuity solutions that are right for you. When you call, make sure you ask about our Safe Money Retirement Book and Information Kit, which we'll provide at our expense. My number is 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. So let's get back to my conversation with Joe. Some of you listening have already figured out why a 22% return is not a 22% return if it's still invested, but let me outline this just in case. Let's illustrate this with some other questions. If you're married and have one excellent year of married life, is that a successful marriage? If you have children and win Father or Mother of the Year for 1 year in that child's life, does that make you a successful parent? If you have a job and 1 year you exceed every expectation your boss had for you, does that mean you had a successful career? You've heard the saying, don't count your chickens until they hatch. Now, when it comes to retirement, when do your chickens hatch? Ironically, your retirement chicken hatches when your life is over. When it comes to money, people love to measure success in segments. They take a portion of their money, that had the best performance over a consistent period and make themselves feel good by ignoring their other money and the long-term consequences of risk. You see this all the time, and not just from the guy bragging about his money at a party. You see it on the financial news when they get excited because the market is up for that day. You see it from brokers and advisors when they talk about last year's results from one investment fund they have out of hundreds of other funds. Isn't it time to think about the long game of retirement? What does the return on a portion of your money over the last month, last year, or even last decade have to do with anything when you still have a life to live? If you want results you can count on, call for our Safe Money Retirement Book and Information Kit at 844-905-SAFE. We will provide you with this amazing retirement resource completely at our expense. Isn't it time to make sure the gains you get are the gains you get to keep with a fixed indexed annuity? Again, our number is 844-905-SAFE. There's a name for exaggerated claims when something cannot be counted on, and I won't say it on the radio, but it doesn't come from a female cow and it doesn't smell like roses. You know from listening to my show over the years that I'm a straight shooter. I think retirement shouldn't be about laziness, but it also shouldn't be about the stress that comes from striving and taking on risk that could potentially put your retirement in jeopardy. I also think retirement should be about honesty. I think we should all be wiser as we get older, and we shouldn't call something a market gain when it can be taken away. A 22% gain that is still exposed to market risk is not a 22% gain because the gain and your principal are still at risk. How do you take a gain and turn it into a permanent increase protected from loss that you can't outlive? That's what I'd like to talk to you about. My number again is 844-905-SAFE. I look forward to us having a meaningful conversation. I hope you've enjoyed Safe Money Retirement Radio this week. Unfortunately, we're out of time today. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Tim Wood now for your complimentary Safe Money Retirement Book and Information Kit at 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or contact him online at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base annuity contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Listeners should be aware of IRS penalties for withdrawing funds from an annuity before age 59 and a half. Fees may apply. Annuity guarantees are based on the insurance company's financial strength and claims-paying ability. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are taking just the first step towards protecting your retirement. It is important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice. Have you recently changed jobs and now you have a 401k or another retirement account you don't want to expose to the risk of market loss? You have worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Since you will probably start another retirement account at your new job, why not ensure your old account provides you principal protection, the opportunity to participate in the market with locked-in accumulation, and a guaranteed lifetime income. We can help you roll over the retirement account from your previous employer and identify products that provide the potential of index-linked credited interest while limiting market risk. Did you know that if you're age 59 and a half, you may be able to move money out of your employer plan even if you're still working there? Call us now and ask about bonus options on your retirement money with a fixed indexed annuity. Imagine putting your money on an elevator that only goes up. It might stop on a few floors along the way when the market index goes down, but you won't go back to visit the lower floors. Our phone number is 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. You can get your complimentary Safe Money Retirement Information Kit by calling us now. That number again is 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233.